It's me, I'm C, and this is Kickback Astrology. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Alright, I'm sorry, I quit. But you know what time it is. Grab your guards, grab your woodies, grab your glasses, do what you need to do. Kick back how you kick back. I'ma kick back how I kick back. And let's get into some of these birth charts. Come on with it. Now, Lauryn Hill's moon is in Sagittarius. And with her moon being in Sagittarius, we know Sagittarius and Gemini are opposing signs, so we know that she has a sun moon opposition, which we'll get into later. But with her moon being in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is a fire sign. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So we know that Sagittarius is all about expanding, it's all about adventures, it's all about, the higher meaning. What's the higher meaning of life? Like, that's what Sagittarius is. Sagittarius is the professor. Sagittarius is the preacher. You know what I mean? Sagittarius wants to teach. It doesn't just want to gain the knowledge from the experience. It wants to teach it to others. So this is why you see Lauryn with a lot of the messages, like the messages. I'm done. The messages that she has are deep messages. Like they're very not that, but they're not necessarily religious, but more of spiritual messages that she tries to spread. They're more of like, because her Gemini is going to give you a message, but with that moon in Sagittarius, the message is it's going to have a higher meaning. It's just not going to be something simple, or you know what I mean. It's going to have a higher meaning. It's going to apply to life overall. It's going to have some kind of spiritual backing. It's going to have that feel to it. It's going to have that wisdom behind it. That's why you see a lot of. That's why people like really were attracted to like the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, even though there's some controversy behind it. But things like that where it has a higher message in the music. That's that moon in Sagittarius. That's why it had when she's giving off a message that Gemini is going to allow her to communicate it well, but that moon in Sagittarius is why it's so deep and why it has that higher meaning and why it has that wisdom. It feels like an aunt talking to you. You know what I mean? Girl, you better watch out. Some guys are only about that thing. Like, it sound like you talking to your own auntie. Like, girl, he ain't no good. Like, that's that moon in Sagittarius energy. Like, they ain't gonna be forceful about it, but they gonna give you some wisdom. They gonna give you some knowledge, something you can take on with you, something they've learned from their experiences. Because Sagittarius is all about experiences. The moon is your feelings, your emotions, how you are at home, how you are as a mother. So at home, Lauryn is probably very spiritual. She probably researches a lot. She probably reads a lot of books. She probably has studied several different religions and knows all of the history of different, forms of spirituality and all of that. She probably knows all of those things. She probably knows the history behind music, like what she's doing. She probably knows, like, she probably could name you exactly who, you know what I mean? Like, she has that about her, which that's what she does when she's at home. So even with her music, she's gonna know who first played the first violin on an R&B track, like stuff like that. She's gonna know that, like, because she has that Gemini mixing with that Sagittarius energy, so she's going to get all of that information. You know what I mean? And she's gonna be able to apply that information. That's what, and that, but it's kind of backwards though, because at home she has all of this knowledge, she has all of this wisdom, but when she gets out into the world, she may not necessarily be able to, she'll be able to give the message, but she may not necessarily be able to go as in depth as she would want to. She may not be able to teach and reach as many people as she would want to with that moon in Sagittarius, because Gemini's first house is community, is close people to you. But Sagittarius is more about the world. You see what I'm saying? So she may not necessarily be able to reach as many people as she wants to with her message, but she's going to have one. Period. And that's what she does at home. She probably reads a lot of books. She probably studies a lot of spiritual things. She probably goes to church or whatever she's into. She probably does that. As a mother, she's probably very fun and very generous, but She might do too much sometimes. like but she's probably very sweet. She's probably very active with her kids. Not in like going out, but she's going to make sure that they have like all those kid experiences like Disneyland and stuff like that. Like that's Sagittarius stuff, like big stuff. Like, you know, she's going to make sure they have everything on Christmas. Like she's going to make sure she has the big, you know, whatever, the cars, whatever, everything like that. Her kids are going to have it, like straight up and down, because she's going to be very generous. She's not going to be selfish, but she's also probably going to be very preachy. She's probably very on top of her kids, not in the way of you need to do something specific, but in the way of you need to be doing something. Because Moon and Sagittarius, that's going to bring that, that's bringing that expansion into the home. So she's going to want to instill that in her kids. She's going to want to instill the importance of education. She's going to want to instill the importance of spirituality and stuff like that. She's going to be big on that. She's the mom that gives you like deep saying, like when you're going through something regular, she'll like say stuff to you, and it'll be like super deep, and you'll like later on in life be like, yeah, I'm glad she told me that. Like I could always use that. Like that type of parent. Like not necessarily like breathing down your neck, but like she's gonna make sure you know, like you have that higher wisdom, you have that higher understanding, like it's gonna be all right. She's gonna make sure that her kids don't necessarily are in the world, but not necessarily of the world. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna have some higher understanding. They're gonna be able to stand on their own too. Moon and Sagittarius. And then she's gonna, like I said, everything she does is gonna be big. She probably, you know, even with her feelings, so if she feels some type of way, hey, she's not gonna be quick to react, but when she does react, it can and it's a mutable sign, so it could be, you know, apt to change at any given moment. So you may not necessarily, you know what I mean, see it coming, but it won't last. It'll change. Like she's not going to be the person who holds grudges and things like that. Like she'll feel the way she feels. She'll express it how she expresses it, and she'll move on with it. She's not a person who's going to hold grudges and things like that, because she's going to focus on the higher learning and the higher lesson and what that person taught her. And once she's figured that out, like what the lesson was within that, or what the meaning was within that experience, she'll move on. She's not necessarily the person who's going to hold a grudge or needs closure or things like that. No. Like she's going to take the experience, she's going to take something from it, and she's going to move on. Period. So that was part 2, all about Miss Lauryn Hill's Moon and Sagittarius. We got to see where she got some of that wisdom from at such a young age. Because remember when we first met Lauryn Hill, she wasn't that old. She was only in her early 20s, and she had wisdom way beyond her years. And that's her Moon and Sagittarius hard at work. But as always, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Make sure you kick back with part 3. Come on with it.